being called only Black is like not having a culture. So what does that mean?
You know, Blackness means different to every person who's Black in America and in the Americas abroad.
Yeah.
You know, my experience and Gary's experience are two different experiences, but common in that we're both considered Black men.
Yeah.
For me, growing up Black wasn't enough, you know, because I would admire the people who were proudly German, you know, or proudly Scottish, proudly, you know, from Europe or wherever they're from. And I just wanted to, you know, to have my own culture to be proud of beyond Blackness. Now, Blackness is beautiful now. It's a beautiful culture, but it stems from our cultures back home in Africa. And I wanted to be sure that I pay homage to that ancestry as well, you know, to that part of my life as well. Something just felt missing, you know, because I know as a social scientist, but even beyond a social scientist, being Black is in opposition to white, you know, and there was always these nuances of how my life has been so reactionary in America. You know, I do these things, you know, Black power only exists because white power has been such a negative force.
Right.
And so when you think about the concept of being Black, it's really a reactionary concept in how we live our lives, always on the defense, always ready to rumble, so to speak. But I wanted to live my life in a more genteel manner, knowing who I am and where I come from, and just walking in that pride, walking in the light of knowing who I am.
Yeah. And you got a question. Go ahead, Mr. Tokum.
I was just going to say, when it comes to the word Black, I totally understand what he's saying. You know, for a while, I didn't like the word Black either because it didn't identify me with anything. Like it had no substance. But now I don't hate the word as much as I thought I did, because I think at one period of time we actually needed that word to evolve to where we at today in this country. So I think that we actually needed that word to bring that togetherness, to try to find like that common ground for all people of color, you know, or Black people, you know what I mean? But I don't think we need it anymore. I think that because of technology and all this stimulus money, and you can get 20, 30 family members to help you out to find your identity. No one has to, you know, bear the burden of spending $300, almost $400 and finding your DNA. I don't think it's an excuse anymore for people not to be able to find their culture or find where they come from. So.
Hi, this is Meredith. And in the discussion about Black and being able to identify, I can remember I was a physical therapist with little kids. So I was always in a situation where there were more white people than Black. Sometimes I was the only Black. And I can remember one time, probably about 30 years ago, the staff was out to lunch and we're out talking, and there was a Jewish person, a Polish person, and two Caucasians of some other, but they were all talking about their traditions and where they came from and all that kind of stuff. And I remember saying, you all are so ethnic, because I really didn't have anything to say other than, you know, maybe I went down south, which I went a couple of times because my parents were born in the North. So for me, if I was back in that conversation again, I knew I was from Africa at some point in, you know, in my beginnings, but I could actually say I'm Bamalike. I've had the fortunate of being able to go to Cameroon 3 times. It, you know, and our tour guide was able to take, and our tour guide was able to take us, and well, she's Bamalike, so, but she was raised in the United States. So she was able to take us to the, you know, ethnic sites and that kind of stuff. And we went the second year after they found the slave port of Bimbia. We were able to go to see that. And for people on that trip who had been on the previous trip, we were able to walk from the road through the brush, not as, what word I want to use, raw as the people who had gone the first time, because they really had to go through the brush to get to the sea. to see where we had been taken from. And there were ruins. And I remember seeing bottles that were dated in the 1800s that were broken up, you know, liquor bottles and that kind of stuff. So, you know, to be able to have that history and to really have a proud history of being Bamileke, you know, really makes a difference, really makes a difference. And at that point, I was probably, I was 64 or 65 when I went the first time. So yeah, it's, and I want to go one more time before I leave this earth.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, may I ask you to go with Sister Ada Brown?
Yes, I know
Yeah.
your name because she told us about your book.
Really?
She put on the website because I knew your name, and I was looking for in some of the papers I had, I was looking for you as being one of the people that I'd gone with. And then then when you said you were going to present your book, I said that's where I heard his name from. She told us on a website about your book.
Wow, I had to give her a hug. She's such a jewel.
Yes,
She
is.
organized my naming ceremony for me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Okay. That's it.
Come see the special place where I come from. The moon is bright, we telling stories round the bonfire. We get the firewood and we get the power. We get the sauce, yes, we are proud of who we